How you doing, Patriots? Today is May 10th. (2024). Here we are again. I've been around for a while, but thought we'd jump on here today. Nobody else is live streaming right now, so we got time to chat, share a couple memes, talk about Freedom Corner, J6, and the atrocious condition our country is in right now. Let's see. First thing I want to tell you is I had to change my P.O. box number because of trolls. Naturally, they just started signing me up for magazines from trade shows, and sending me goofy, just dumb, stupid gifts. And so I just decided to change my P.O. box number. So if you want to send donations to fund future events that we're going to be partaking in and live streaming and bringing to your home, the new address is in the comments section, not the comments, but the description section of my channel here on 00 Jericho. The new box number is 5211. Same, all the other part is the same though. And we are in day 1220 since FJB since Mike Pence didn't do his job and he went ahead and certified that election against the wishes of 1 million people that were protesting in Washington, D.C. on January 6, 2021. And then all the rest of the events that unraveled after that is history at this point. And we have been investigating, and they have been covering up all the facts of that day ever since. So we're getting on almost 4 years into this mess that we find ourselves in as this country. And it's not a good place to be, America. Not a good place to be at all. Okay, I think we got good transmission here. Boy, and then last night at Freedom Corner, I don't know what was going on with YouTube, but everybody was going down on strikes last night. So I do believe that 1791 Stormtrooper is out on strikes right now. I do believe that We the People MAGA, which is Rebecca's channel, is out on strikes right now. Rebecca got her other channel up and running, and I'm not sure where Stormtrooper is at this point right now. Somehow or another, all right, let me see if I can get comments in here. Somehow or another, Sherry on Sapphire Patriot managed to get through unscathed. Her channel never did go down last night, but it was choppy and freezing. And the same thing with for Ashley DC Vigil's channel was, I think, managed to stay up the whole night down there. So good thing we got 4 live streamers down there, because I guess they can't take them all out at the same time. The notification that I saw on Trooper's channel was that it was a violation of a song copyright, and that he had been taken down because of repeated or consistent inattention to copyright strikes or something like that. Some goofiness, you know. So I don't get why they can take you down for playing somebody's song when you're actually using that song for an event that you're having and you're filming that event, but that song happens to be playing in the background. It's odd that that's how that works. If I had music out there and people were using it for their events, I'd be pretty stoked, because it's just more notoriety and exposure to your song. Why would you write a song if you don't want anybody to hear it? You know, it's the world we live in right now, Patriots. Crazy stuff, man. All right, so yeah, just wanted to share that with the mailbox number. P.O. Box 5211 is the new address here in Lancaster, PA 17606. All right, got a bunch of notes. Freedom Corner's been going on the whole time. We're well over 600 we're at about 620 days in a row at Freedom Corner. There's been zero resistance down there for the past, 3 weeks. So even the opposition in D.C. is non-existent to having a vigil for the J6ers. I think we're seeing a tide change in the perceptions and attitudes of Americans towards our government, which is something that we've been on since actually the People's Convoy, when they tried to push these mandates on us with the masks and on our children and the vaccines on our children. And we got to start voicing our displeasure, airing our grievances, calling our congresspeople. But it's become more and more obvious 3.5 years down the road that they just ignore us. They have an agenda in Congress, and they are going to pursue that agenda. And whatever they want to get done gets done very quickly. And if we want something, they start dragging their feet. And then it takes years of court cases for this stuff to work through our court system, which is baloney. It shouldn't take that long for these issues to work through the court system. And in the past, we justified that as being, all right, the courts are finding the truth on a matter, and it takes a long time to find that out. But it's obvious that that's not what's occurring right now. What's occurring right now is it's obvious that the judicial branch of the government is working in cahoots with the executive branch of the government. And they're supposed to be two totally separate parts of our government, part of the checks and balances. And when those two branches hook up like they're doing right now, we get an unbalanced government, and we get tyranny as a way to express itself in this country, which is unacceptable. We got the DEI is instituted in law right now. That started back in the 80s, the early 80s. I remember right when I got out of high school, there was civil rights people saying that you had to hire the same percentage of the population in your company. So if you had, too many white people working, you had to stop, and the next couple people you had to hire had to be, 14% black people, which totally takes the option of hiring people for their skills off the table. And it would also work against black people. If you had all black people working for your company, you would have to fire get rid of, all of a sudden fill up your roster with 85% white people, That's not what this government's all about, man. That's not what America's all about. America about capitalism, entrepreneurial spirit, competitive, give the people what they want type thing. So now we got this DEI thing, and I think DEI stands for didn't earn it, because it is not a reward system that you can get, that good people get hired. We're finding that out with the Boeing aerospace airplane builder business there. Parts are flying off of their planes. They've been DEI hires for a couple of decades now, at least. I've been hearing stories from Boeing out in Washington for 20 years. And it's ridiculous. It's just ridiculous. One guy I knew was a supervisor out there in Seattle. Back when Boeing used to be in Seattle, they moved out of Seattle since then. And there was a 400-pound woman there that claimed he was sexually harassing her. And I don't understand why that could possibly be considered. Everything is recorded out there, yet they had to let this thing play out because this woman claimed to be a victim, and turns out she was a liar. So, I mean, this is our system that we have right now, you know. Victim or liar? What are you? Takes months for a court to figure that out when you can just figure that out, you know. All right, so we got a lot of things to talk about in this country right now. And the news cycle is just spinning so fast. It is really just hard to keep up, man. And I know what their method of operation is. It's almost like you almost don't have to pay attention. You know, you can predict what's going to happen. You know, I'm finding myself getting our garbage newspaper every morning and just realize I know what they're going to say before I even open the headline up, you know. They're going to bash Trump. We're going to talk about Stormy Daniels. We're going to talk about bogus court cases and Jack Smith, you know, all this created chaos that the DOJ, the Department of Justice, is making on our time, on our efforts here in this country, when in actuality the border's still wide open. There's illegals, thousands of them coming across every single day. And a lot of news has come out this last week that they are going to be able to vote. There was a gal on Tucker Carlson that was reading the laws. And right at the end of the federal laws, there is a thing where if you're an illegal alien and you get a way to vote, and you can get a license, you can get Medicaid, and in those applications, you have to physically say, no, I don't want to vote, because you automatically get signed up to vote in a lot of these states. And if you vote and you think you were legitimately allowed to vote, even though you can't vote unless you're a citizen, there are no charges that are applicable. They cannot come and charge you for that. So whatever. I mean, it's just getting wackier and wackier, and we're just, what can we do, patriots? Other than, you know, we could be getting violent like the Hamas protests are getting now. I mean, they're getting totally out of control. They're taking over buildings. They're causing vandalism. It's a repeat of the Summer of Love back in prior to the 2016 election and the 2020 election. And they're just going to ramp that aspect of it all up. But that's not the only thing they're going to ramp up. So we got that coming at us. They're these useful idiot SEALs, the clapping SEALs from the colleges. Most of them don't even really know what they're protesting there, but they will just go out and do it. And there's obvious leaders that are getting paid to orchestrate these events. And they're getting arrested. And then we find out, you know, a high percentage of those that were arrested are not even students at these colleges. So it's what's going on right now. We're just going to have to persevere and deal with it and prepare for the worst, hope for the best, but prepare for the worst right now. All the Trump cases are blowing up in their face like we knew they were going to happen. But we got to sit through this circus. Isn't there something we the people can do? I know that a lot of us are doing something about it. We are writing letters and putting emails out and putting phone calls to our representatives. The Congress in America is in charge of these federal courts. That is who appoints them. The federal court system is who is prosecuting Donald Trump, and with the exception of the New York case. And then they imported federal lawyers into that case. And it's being prosecuted by people who campaigned and won their elections, supposedly, on the only platform of, I'm going to go get Trump if you elect me. This is vindictive lawfare. And it's just not right. It's not cool. And a really good saying from Teddy Roosevelt came to my attention this week. It's just gold, man. Teddy Roosevelt back in the day said, to educate a man in mind and not in morals is to educate a menace to society. And that's what we're finding out, people. These people are menaces to society that are bringing this trouble on our country. that is just miring this country into the coma that this country is in right now. We are not a productive country anymore. All our businesses and manufacturing abilities have gone overseas because of laws that our Congress made. And it's obvious our Congress was not looking after American interests when they made those laws that made it more favorable to have a business over in Vietnam and make stuff and ship it over here than it was to have a business right here in America making the same products without shipping them over here. So Congress made that. They fostered that. They made that possible. And what happened was, business people are business-minded, profit-driven ideals in capitalism, and it just made more sense for them to go to other countries to build their products and bring them and then sell them here. And then when Trump got into office, he instituted tariffs for unfair trade deals and stuff, and all those were erased as soon as Joe Biden took office. One thing that's kind of odd now is that Trump's tax cuts that he gave everybody when he was president are still in effect and are about to run out. And that I wish they kind of ran out 2 years ago so everybody would really see the mayhem that's going to happen when these tax cuts run out. But that's the way it is now. They are due to run out very quickly. I think before the election here sometime. There's a lot happening, man. Okay, I'm not seeing any chat here, folks, so I don't know if you're chatting it up out there or what. Let's see, wait a second. Let me throw a chat out there, see if there's chat abilities, if it's coming up on my screen or not here. In which case, I don't know why it wouldn't be. Everything's wacky with YouTube these days, man. They're having all kinds of trouble with it. And it's probably because they're trying to censor stuff. No, my chat is not visible. Let's see here. All right, so for some reason I don't have chat right now. All right, so I got a bunch of memes from the week. I'm just going to flip through these a while we talk. It'd be cool if I could see the chat, but I guess I won't. Maybe it'll just pop back on at any minute. And in the meantime, we got all this happening right over our heads. Right over our heads, Nothing new, though. They've been putting fluoride in our water, fluoride in our toothpaste. The FDA certifies poisons to go into our foods. If you want to trust the government and the FDA and consume anything that they say is all right, you're going to be poisoning yourself, Americans. We can't just let the government tell us what's good for us and what's not. We have to use our own brains. We have to put our thinking caps on. We might have to read a book or two about certain things, but we got to figure out what's good. But in the meantime, this is going on over our heads, and you got the people who never look up in the sky, say, "Oh, those are ice crystals," and they're not. It's obvious they're not. They covers the sky with a hazy cloud cover for whatever reason. It used to be because the Earth was getting too warm, that the science was saying, oh, well, we could put a cloud layer over and cool the Earth that way. But now it's just climate change. And now we're getting all this wacko weather, man. Brazil is just getting inundated with floods. Dubai is getting inundated with floods in the middle of a desert. We're having tornadoes a couple times a week in the middle of the country here. We're getting crazy wildfires happening. It's insane. It's insane. We all know it. But we got to deal with it. That's part of living on this earth right now, I believe. And we are but sojourners and aliens here, people. And you take health advice from someone who profits when you are sick, anybody would go, that's odd. That's really odd. And then look what they did with the COVID. It's just insane, patriots. The health risks and the health dangers are still coming out to this day on what it was that they shot into our bodies here. We got Bill Gates out there saying, well, we just got to mess around with this some more, and then we can figure out. We can have cheap vaccines. We can make $2 vaccines in a couple of months for whatever new disease comes out. Mankind has been on this planet for, at least 6,000 years. And so what new diseases are going to come out? Unless they invent ones, man. Lyme disease. There's information coming out about Lyme disease. That was a created disease on an island off the coast of Connecticut on a biolab research facility. That's all information I heard 10 years ago. But it just floats out there. Nobody picks it up and runs with it. And it's the world we live in. God will protect us, so God has been protecting us. And we make no peace with evil. One of the J6ers at Freedom Corner brought up, I think it was Jonathan Pollock. At the end of the night, he always gives us a good Bible verse. He gave us a Bible verse out of Ephesians, and I just thought this was an excellent little paragraph to read here. This is Ephesians 5, beginning at verse 8. For you were once darkness, but now you are light in Yahuwah. Live as children of light, for the fruit of light consists in all goodness, righteousness, and truth. And find out what pleases Yahuwah. Have nothing to do with the fruitless deeds of darkness, but rather expose them. For it is shameful even to mention what the disobedient do in secret. But everything exposed by the light becomes visible, for it is light that makes everything visible. This is why it is said, wake up, O sleeper, rise from the dead, and Christ will shine on you. Make no peace with evil. When you make peace with evil, it remains hidden. When you make peace with evil, you hide your light so that it cannot be exposed. When you make peace with evil, it allows evil to exist in a hidden, which allows them to get away with more, with worse and worse things, which allows them to do more damage. Expose wickedness, expose evil, use the light that God gives you. That's insight, that's wisdom, to shine the light on evil. And that's exactly what we've been doing at Freedom Corner for 620-something days now. Look at all the evil that's been exposed, just at Freedom Corner alone. Look at all the evil that's been exposed through Donald Trump going through sham trials in this country. Did anybody have any idea that a federal court could be as corrupt as we're seeing right now? It's insane. And how do you fix that? How do you fix that when elections are rigged? How do you fix that when nobody takes down your phone calls when you call your representatives? How do you fix that when they're all compromised, when they're all greedy, or they're all perverts, or they're all scared? Everyone in the Congress is compromised. How do you fix it? The Lord will lay out a path, I do believe. This, I believe, is a shot from J6. So on January 6, 2021, people were holding this sign up. We stand up now, or we stand for nothing. And there they were. And look what this corrupt government has done to us for standing up. You think they want us to stand up more? Or do you think they're trying to just shut us up and trample us down? "2020 hindsight says we really screwed up on January 7th, you know. There should have been 2 million people at DC on the 7th. And then that National Guard would have come in there and said, and kept all the thugs, the undercover thugs, from performing with their little choreographed production to institute a riot there. What else I got on that right now? There's some information that's pertinent to that. Oh yeah, we had there's a committee hearing, another committee hearing run by Representative Loudermilk. And they're having hearings. They brought in Colonel Earl Matthews. They brought in Stephen Sund, all the people that the J6 committee production that ran on prime time with a movie, with a Hollywood producer and teleprompters and all that. The one that hid evidence, the J6 commission that America thinks was the official commission on investigating J6 that committed all kinds of crimes. That's getting ready to throw Steve Bannon into jail, like in a couple of days here. That threw Peter Navarro in jail. There is now an investigation going on into J6 that is not on prime time, and it's just stashed away in the crevices of C-SPAN. You know, it's out there. All this information is coming out, but nobody's seeing it, and it's groundbreaking, earth-shattering evidence that there was a scam going on at J6, and Fox News isn't reporting on it. MSNBC's not reporting it. CNN's not reporting on it. And you would think that the pillar of the gatekeepers of information in this country, the mainstream media that we have trusted for a long time, you would think they would want Americans to know. You would think they would want their people to know, their subscribers, the people that pay for their magazines. You would think that they would want their people to know what's going on, but it's obvious that they don't. And it's fairly obvious that they're getting money from somewhere else, because their subscription rates are going down. They don't have near the amount of viewers that they used to have. Where are they making money? Who's funding that? Well, if you're looking at NPR, the government's funding it. We're funding that. But Colonel Earl Matthews testified, he's a whistleblower, that Trump was stripped of commander-in-chief powers on January 6, 2021, while he was still president. President Trump was stripped of commander-in-chief powers on January 6th. That's not new information. That's why the National Guard wasn't there. The claim is that Mark Milley and Army Secretary Ryan McCarthy assumed Trump was going to use DC National Guard to stop the certification of the 2020 election. And they stripped him of his powers. They kept information away from our elected president, and they kept the National Guard out of there because they're saying that he was going to use the National Guard to shut down the certification. Which I don't know how Mark Milley could come up with that, because what we were saying in the days and weeks leading up to that was that Congress can take a 10-day pause on this certification and take a look at the evidence before they certify that election. And Mike Pence had the ability to do that at the time too. Even though Mike Pence came out and lied to America afterwards and said he didn't have that power. And even though Congress came and changed that law after that all happened, so that they can't, Mike Pence or the vice president can't do that now. But at the time, he could have done that. God puts our leaders into place. God is in control, and this is all happening for a reason. We will know what that reason is in the future, but right now we just got to walk in faith, patriots. Yeah, and here's what we're supposed to think right now. You will respect the dignity of this court. Now bring out the porn star. Bring out the lying porn star that's testifying against the next president of the United States. That signed 5 different documents that said she did not have a relationship with the ex-president of the United States. Bring out the porn star who is now talking to dead people, using mediums to speak to spirits of dead people. Bring out the porn star that goes on Ghostbuster trips now, that will do anything for $1. She sold her body for $1. Now she can't use her body. Nobody wants to see her body anymore. And now look at her. She's consulting mediums. She's creating extortion charges against the ex-president of the United States. She just continually lies. There are other witnesses, Michael Cohen, who, believe it or not, Congress has just recommended to the DOJ to press charges for contempt of court charges against him. And does the DOJ act on the recommendations of the Congress? No. Cohen was referred to the DOJ for perjury charges, not contempt. He got caught lying, I don't know, 6 times. And then he was investigated. They had hearings. They came to the conclusion that, yep, he lied. And now the committee has referred to Cohen to the DOJ for charges. And Cohen has no charges right now. So here again we see the ineffectiveness of our government. And all this information is out there now. It's not hidden. But you got to go looking for it. Does that make it untrue? Or are people being willfully ignorant about this? A lot of information about the elections is coming out too. And this is supposedly the president of the United States. This is just a funny one. My girlfriend said I was a pedophile. I said, that's a pretty big word for a 9-year-old. He hasn't made that statement specifically, but he has made statements as goofy as that. That's our president, supposedly. And in the meantime, we got some people going to jail, like Steve Bannon, Peter Navarro, for contempt of Congress, for not showing up for subpoenaed appearances in Congress. And then we got other people like Hunter Biden, who blatantly ignores subpoenas to Congress and has no charges applied. We're supposed to try to wrap our brains around this on a daily basis. And it's maddening. It's maddening. In the meantime, we stand. We continue to stand. And we have this madness going on top of everything else. The world has been turned upside down. We got farmers under attack for fertilizing their fields and for cow farts. But we're told that these gigantic fiberglass things that takes every bird out of the sky around them is what we should be doing. And when the wind stops blowing, we don't have any power. And when the sun goes away, we don't have any power. Common sense is not so common anymore, patriots. And the Biden administration continues to create new ways of buying votes. And here's one ingenious way. Oh, okay. All right, texts work. Thanks, Tammy. Chat away. I can't see what you're saying, but at least we got a spot to chat. I wish I could chat with you all while we're doing this, but YouTube, we'll take what we can get. We got the Biden administration paying off student loans. And then we're wondering why, and it really is puzzling why, students are now standing up and yelling FJB all the time. I mean, I laugh because I don't know how else to react to all this insanity that's going on in this country. On top of everything else, we got students out there yelling death to America. Oh, but pay my student loan off first. More of the paradigm busting insanity going on in our country. And it all started with this. America is not a sovereign nation. We've had our leaders telling us that we need to be part of a global society, that would be just better for the world. But it ain't better for us. It is not better for us whatsoever. I did a little investigation into the enemy over the years. What is their method of operation? How do they operate? And one of their operations is, they got voodoo dolls they can use. They got spells that they can cast. They got words that they can say. They got curses that they can pronounce on people. You know, whether or not it works or it doesn't is debatable. But another way that they can operate is something called a talisman. You've all heard of a lucky rabbit's foot. What else would be a talisman like that? A four-leaf clover brings you luck. That's what a talisman is. It's a physical thing that brings you good luck or just delivers a spell to you or a blessing to you. And does this little pyramid with the floating eye over it look familiar to you guys? That's on the back of our $1 bills. The basis of all of our currency in America is the $1 bill. It's all built on that. There's the $1 bill. There's the $5 bill, which is 5 $1 bills. There's the $10 bill, which is 10 $1 bills. And on the $1 bill, this creepy little eye here is on them all. And I'm here to tell you that that $1 bill in your pocket is a talisman. I don't know what permissions are granted to the powers of wickedness while you got one of them $1 bills in your pocket, but it isn't nothing. It's something. So I don't know, if you just take a little pen and cross that eyeball off on the top of your $1 bills, I don't know, that might stop the power of a talisman, of that talisman. There's a lot of other creepy stuff on that $1 bill, and it is odd how they haven't changed the $1 bill in a long time, but they've changed all the other bills over the last 40, 50 years, but they don't change that $1 bill. And I suspect it's because it's a talisman. Why people die? Because of lack of knowledge. We got to study, people. Study. Then we got this guy. I don't know if you can recognize him with all that pie on his face, but that's Bill Gates. A long time ago. And a long time ago, he got clobbered in the face with 2 whipped cream pies on the way into a meeting. And this was the moment Bill Gates decided to kill everybody on Earth. Bill Gates decided to get everybody hooked on the interweb, on the computers. Computers were going to change the world. It was going to save trees. It was going to be able to turn the lights on in your home before you got there. It was going to be able to lower the shades and set the temperature before you got home. It was going to, start making your coffee in the morning before you woke up. It was going to be a beautiful world that the computers were going to bring to us. It was going to make knowledge accessible to everybody. And we all bought into it. Everybody bought into it. And then the government facilitated it. They said we could buy and sell on the internet and save stamps and reduce the cost of the postal service. So the government said you didn't have to pay taxes. You didn't have to pay sales tax on something that you bought on the internet. I don't know if you all remember this or not, but for 10 years, if you bought something on the internet, you didn't have to pay sales tax. So the government gave an unfair advantage to the internet in order to get people to accept it, okay? And then what happens? Viruses. Oh, no. Now your computer could get a virus. And then it was sick. And then you needed a computer doctor to fix the virus. And then there was hackers, and then they could steal the information. So then we needed security systems on the internet. This man has made statements pertaining to the fact that they could control the population of the world using vaccines. It was in a TED Talk. And then just this week, he was talking about how we can make $2 vaccines with mRNA if we just mess around a little bit more with it. We are the human guinea pigs of this man of wickedness right here. This diabolical enemy of the human race right here. And that could have been the moment he decided that. It looks like we're having some type of transmission difficulty all of a sudden. Bear with me. It might be climbing back right now. I don't know. All right, I think we're back in. Could be weather related. I don't know. It's overcast day today. But the decay of society began as people drifted away from God. And now that the copyright infringements on Steamboat Willie are over, you can use Steamboat Willie without getting arrested or thrown in jail. There's another aspect of our goofy laws in this country. For 75 years, if you use this picture to do anything, Walt Disney could come and sue your ass. And then we're being told that diversity is our strength. And over the whole world, this has been happening. Europe has been inundated with migrants, mostly from Muslim countries. And next thing you know, the European Conservatives is reporting that foreigners committed 77% of all the solved rape cases in Paris last year. Is diversity strength in this case? Or is diversity a menace to society? And that's what I've been saying about our American culture has been erased, people. American culture has been erased. And that's why we are reinventing it with flag waves and convoys and Trump rallies. And these things will continue to take place into the future. That is what Americans are going to do from now on out to get all revved up about our country. We are not going to celebrate our diversity. We're going to celebrate our unity. This is Julian Assange. He's been in prison for, or not in prison. He's been in prison for 5 years, but he's been on the run for 10. Because he told us what our government was doing to us. He told us what happened with Seth Rich's murder at the DNC when Hillary Clinton decided that she didn't want Bernie Sanders in the race. And Seth Rich leaked information. And that information was that the DNC ran Bernie Sanders out of town. You know, they told him to get out. This man told us that. And now he's been persecuted ever since, with the collusion of many of the governments of the world. And if he was lying, no one would be trying to silence him. But he's telling the truth. And he's getting persecuted, just like our J6ers, just like our abortion clinic protesters that have been thrown in prison for 10 or 11 years. They wouldn't be trying to silence him if he was lying. And believe it or not, this story is true, Patriots. This man invented a water-powered car, and then he died mysteriously. Stan Meyer invented a water-powered car. Unfortunately, though, he dies not long after being offered $1 billion from an unknown man from Saudi Arabia. Despite skepticism about the legitimacy of a car that runs on water, Meyer was able to patent his invention under Section of the subject matter eligibility index, meaning he proved to a patent office, patent review board, that his invention worked reliably. There are new engines coming out from Toyota, actually, that I'm hearing about. And we're being told that we're poisoning the atmosphere. We're destroying the planet with pollution. But what they don't tell you is that pollution used to be way worse back in the early 1900s when people would actually die from smog. Thousands of people died in London because of air pollution in the early 19th century. But they don't tell you that. Our atmosphere is very clear right now. Pollution is not good. No doubt about it. And we've been working on that for a long time. And then we got bright spots like this, Patriots. This is when we know we're on the right side. This is when we know we're not standing alone. We know that we are not some puny little minority that deserves to get steamrolled at every bend in the road. Those frat boys in North Carolina stood up, man. They took hits. They were throwing rocks and water bottles at those boys when they took that Palestinian flag off that flagpole in America at the UNC and put the stars and stripes back up, kept it from touching the ground. These students are heroes right here. All is not lost, Patriots. There's hope. There's hope. They're throwing our J6ers in prison, but they're still alive. We got a network of patriots that are helping their families out and helping the J6ers out in prison. We're allowed to operate that way. They're not putting us out of business for doing that. We just got to stop, evaluate the scene, and realize that we're still standing. We're doing everything we can to alleviate the pain and the suffering that this government is causing on us. And we will persevere. It's going to suck. But we can do this, Patriots. You can take your kids and self-educate them, homeschool them. You don't have to send them to the indoctrination centers. You can teach your children trades instead of sending them to universities where they're going to get programmed to hate America. You can create your own businesses. You don't have to go work for a company that's going to end up shipping your job out and have no type of accountability to you for working in their company for a lifetime. We can do this, America. We can change this back, but it's going to be an effort. And it's pretty simple what they're doing. They're turning us against each other to distract us from turning against them. The old switcheroo, the old distraction tactic. And that's what's going on with the student protest. That's what's going on everything. The main thing is we still got fraudulent elections. We're being told that it's being fixed. These court cases are happening and they're going to get to the bottom of it, but it's not going to happen unless we make it happen, Patriots. It's going to take 10 million of us standing up. We got to shut that border down, too. Those are the two important things in this country right now that are not getting done. This one's a little laugh. This one's a meme. It's a joke. Just in, Merrick Garland assures Americans that university rioters will be investigated as soon as they wear MAGA hats. What a joke. What a joke. Here's a good idea. Exchange each hostage for 100 pro-Hamas U.S. students. That would be good for Israel. That would be good for the United States. That would be good for Hamas. And educational for our students. Wouldn't it? I mean, some of these ideas just, they come to you, you know, where everybody's happy. This is a win-win-win-win situation right here. And now this is what's going through my mind. I'm kind of patting myself on the back about it. I see a meme like this. If you're not capable of violence, you're not peaceful, you're harmless. Are we ineffective and harmless? Does our government just not fear us at all? This is a deep one here, Patriots. This is a deep one. We avoid violence because it's not right. We saw all the violence that occurred in 2020, the Summer of Love. Jokingly called the Summer of Love, where they burned cities, they burned businesses, they killed people, they attacked federal buildings and police officers. People died. That is why we avoid violence. We are totally capable of violence, but we do not want violence, and we won't bring violence, but we will return violence with violence. Guns don't kill people, we kill people. Hi, George. Hi, Barry. Hi, George. Hi, Bill. Can't remember his first name. Tens of thousands of Americans have given their lives under these 5 presidents. Jimmy, there he is. Sometimes you don't want to remember the nightmares. Maybe this is a speech that needs to happen soon. Whoops. Ask not what your country can do for you. Ask why the Biden regime is not in front of a firing squad for treason right now. With all the evidence that we know, patriots, why is it not being prosecuted? For a country based on law and order and peace and prosperity for all of its citizens, why is this regime not in front of a firing squad for treason? Where is law enforcement? Where is justice? We pray for this every night, patriots. We pray for justice to prevail in this, for truth to dominate. The voodoo process. We were just talking about voodoo. Pray for our president, patriots. Pray for Donald Trump. This man is taking arrows and darts for us. And he is standing in the way because they are coming after me. They're coming after you. Because we stand for freedom and truth. And how many more times is this going to have to be brought up before this person is prosecuted? The Speaker of the House on January 6, 2021. 1/3 of the voting for the Capitol Police Department. This person assured that the National Guard would not be there when the pipe bombs were discovered, when the barriers were taken down, when the cops started flashbanging the crowd and pepper spraying the crowd and shooting rubber bullets into a peaceful crowd of people, when they retreated into the Capitol and lured everybody into the Capitol. This is the woman who was in charge. It's going to be a glorious day when justice is served. And here's the story of the week right now. RFK Jr. has a tapeworm that's eating his brain. Can you believe it? Or did RFK just get a vaccine? That's the story of the week. It's hard to believe. It gets more crazy every day. The story is RFK came out and said he had a tapeworm and it ate part of his brain. I mean, really. That's as absurd as Joe Biden's uncle getting eaten by cannibals, I think. Steven Spielberg couldn't write a better thing. George Lucas couldn't make it up. This is bizarro world. How many of you have been reading your labels on your food you've been buying lately? You're seeing that little, very, very hard to notice comment at the bottom of the ingredients on your food. Luckily, we have a law that you have to list the ingredients of things that you use on your body. Food and shampoo and soap and anything you use on your body's got to have an ingredient label now. Except for beer and cigarettes. And most of this, there's this little comment there now that says, this product was manufactured using a bioengineered food product. So whatever that means that there's something in that food that God did not create, that man created. And that has been made illegal in 30 countries. So ask yourself, why? We have a Food and Drug Administration here. We have government entities that their job is to make sure that we are not unknowingly poisoned. So if you buy food products and that label is on that product, you are knowingly poisoning yourself, because Italy has banned bioengineered food products to save their culture, to save their food culture. I don't know what the other 29 countries are, but I do know that Italy has made bioengineered food products illegal in their country to save their food culture. And on top of everything, 25 years ago, we made a law called Title IX, which would give women the ability to get sports scholarships at college and universities. Because the college and universities weren't just doing that on their own. They didn't value the women as much as they valued the men and the money-making ability of collegiate sports events. Because they do. They make a lot of money off college football, college baseball. So we made Title IX in order to assure that women would get the same amount of money put towards their sports scholarships as the men did. And right before our eyes, we have men dressed up as women that identify as a woman, mentally ill people, and the ladies are letting these imposters into their sports. And it's just ruining the whole thing. Brittany Griner, WNBA star that got arrested, sent in Russia for bringing marijuana into Russia. Spent 6 months or so in jail there. Brittany Griner just got her wife pregnant. So right there it was, right there in WNBA. Women's National Basketball. Kind of takes all the fun out of watching women's sports, to tell you, from my perspective. But ladies, this is your battle. Men have been beaten down into voicing any opinion about any woman's issues because we're men. Man bashing has been running rampant for 40 years. We're not even allowed to speak our minds about women's issues. So ladies, this one's on you. This one's got to be on you. This is where women of America need to stand up and say no. Men have been just told, your opinion doesn't matter. I'm not a woman. There's no way I can understand that. That's what we're told. I don't believe that, but that's what we're told. We keep our mouths shut. This is the aftermath of our students' protests in 2 different colleges here. But these are the same people that care about the environment. They just trashed the place. Look at that. Does Freedom Corner look like that? No. Freedom Corner's cleaner than we found it. To this day. The aftermath. This is what is currently going on in America right here. At the college protests, or the universities. And I'm here to tell you, these universities are money laundering schemes just like Ukraine is. Our federal government gives billions to these universities. These people pay billions of dollars to put their children in these universities. And foreign governments give billions of dollars to these universities. Where is all the money going? It evaporates. It just disappears. $81 million votes, yet I've never seen a pro-Biden hat, shirt, or flag out in the wild. Never. True statement. True statement. For about 2 weeks before the 2020 election, I did see a couple of signs that had Biden's name on it out there in a couple people's yards, but they quickly disappeared after the rigged election. And there's a whole lot of people just walking around not saying nothing right now. I think the official pro-Biden hat should be an adult diaper. That would be appropriate. All right, only got a couple left here, Patriots. Bear with me. The meme scene has been on fire lately. There's just so many of them. And memes, AI can't read the memes, man. This is how you get away with it. Cocaine was found at Biden's house. A dead body was found at Obama's house. A male prostitute was found at Pelosi's house. An illegal server was found at Clinton's house. So the FBI raided Trump's house. And how about all the information coming out about that case this week? It's crazy. So the information that did come out this week on that is that there's some organization in Washington, D.C. that called Trump up and said, hey, there's a bunch of stuff here that's yours. You need to come get it. So they shipped it to his house on a pallet. They delivered it to Mar-a-Lago. Trump didn't even go pick it up. They delivered it to his house. Then, a couple of months later, the FBI raids his house, throws a bunch of papers on the floor, and puts these pages out that say top secret on top of the pages on the floor. And they take a picture and they show the whole country that picture. And it turns out that those pages that say top secret with the red border on it was planted there. That wasn't at Trump's house. The FBI brought that when they went to raid his house, and they put those pages out in that picture. So there's a lot going on, and I hope we get to the bottom of it in somewhat of a timely manner here, but it's not looking good for that right now. Not looking good for that right now. All right, we got one more. This sums it up in one meme right there. That's the meme of the day, Patriots. Right there. Not that one. That one. Hey, now what's going on here? Most Americans asleep on the couch while the couch is on fire. Burning down the house. But it's time for a nap. Let's wake up the Americans that are sleeping on the sofa that's on fire, Patriots. How about it, you know? I know we're all having encounters here with other people that we're, I'm having a lot of people first. Transmission's bad. Try it over here. Cindy. Hey, I got chat. Cindy Z. Jerry Robertson. Okay, Lou's got a stream going. All right, I got chat all of a sudden, man. So I think I just did a whole broadcast on memes there. I hope I did. Otherwise, I'm just standing here talking to a screen. Good to see you, Jerry. Good work this week. You've been on fire with the live streams after the vigil. That's awesome, man. Party Bonza. All right, so I guess that other... I thought I was jumping back into the existing running video, but I guess not. I guess we started a whole new one here. And we got chat. That's awesome. All right, it's a lazy Friday afternoon. I got all my work done. Decided to come to the garage, unload the truck. And it's kind of raining out, so just do a live stream, right? Hey, Ridgeline. All right, like the olden days with chat. That's cool. Hi, Deb Vi. Party Bonza. Way to go, man. Party Bonza's doing live streams. I didn't know that, dude. I checked out the last live stream you did the other day. Didn't get very far into it, but we need more live streamers, man. We need more in the network. Just pile on, Patriots. Pile on. Okay, so there. And last night at Freedom Quarter, they had major troubles. I don't know how many of you were out watching it last night, but it looks like Stormtroopers out for a strike and Rebecca's out for a strike. But Sapphire Patriot and 4 Ashley, DC Vigils is they made it through the night, but there was a lot of buffering and stuff, man. Yeah. That Tara Reid video, interview with Tucker, is something else, man. That's the regime we got, man. Oh, all right. Party Bonds is focusing on Rumble. Okay. I get on Rumble a lot. I'm not broadcasting on Rumble, but I got a Rumble channel. One of these days when I get down to see Trooper, I guess I'll sort out how to get on Rumble at the same time. Because, yeah, YouTube is starting to suck more and more every day. Every day. Yeah, Jerry, get it going on, man. We're going to need to expand the network. That's true, man. That's true. All right, so this dude, Wild Bill for America, Patriot with a YouTube channel, put a video out last week where he wants to create a Ashley Babbitt statue memorial. And I think this is a great idea. I haven't heard anybody else mention it. Mickey brought it up on Freedom Corner a couple of times now. So if you care to go check him out, his channel's name is called Wild Bill 4, F-O-R, America. And he does some good, just sit down and talk videos that aren't very long to watch. It's very organized, kind of on a topic every time he does a video. And one video is that he wants to create a statue of Ashley Babbitt for a memorial. And I think that's a great idea, but he's just looking to organize the people to come together to make this happen. And I'm assuming he's going to need funds and stuff like that. So if you think that's a worthy cause, go check out Wild Bill for America. Okay, and then there was a really good article in the Washington Post, of all places, written by Peter Navarro. Peter Navarro is now serving a prison sentence, and he's in a Florida prison right now. And he just wrote a really great article about what it's like being in prison, all the problems that he is encountering in prison right now down in Florida. And it's more of the same, more of what we're dealing with at Freedom Corner with the J6ers and the Gulag. Peter Navarro is down in the Florida prison right now, wrote an article, Washington Post put it in the paper. So that's a good read if you want to keep tabs on him. They're getting ready to throw Steve Bannon in prison now, too, for the same thing. Steve Bannon and Peter Navarro refused to testify to the sham J6 commission, and they got contempt of Congress charges put on them. And both were found guilty. Peter Navarro appealed it, got shot down, and then sentenced. I think he was sentenced to 4 months in prison or something like that. And Steve Bannon appealed his, but his appeals court upheld the conviction, so he will be sentenced shortly and probably sent to prison. So this is the route this regime is going to. They're going to start throwing other patriots in jail, other than the J6ers. These are members of Trump's cabinet while he was president. And I can't do links here, Stu. If we got a mod in here, they could throw a link in here. Yeah, I can see the chat, Ridgeline. So, yeah, Ridgeline's my only mod here. I don't know how savvy you are on putting links up, though. But they're asking for a link on that Peter Navarro article in the Washington Post. Let's see. I could probably organize. I got the link on my phone. I could try something here right now, Stu, but it might just blow the whole stream up, and I'm not willing to do that. I don't want to do that right now, Stu. But just look up Washington Post. It was an article that was put up in the last, 3 days ago, I think it was in the WAPO. So yeah, Steve Bannon's getting, probably going to get sent to prison. More wickedness exposed. It doesn't matter if you're just a guy protesting the government on the Capitol steps on January 6th, or if you're a member of Trump's cabinet while he was president, or if you're President Trump himself. I mean, they're piling on felony charges on the ex-president of the United States, and it's atrocious. It's atrocious. Can you believe this is happening in America? It all started for me when they took Trump off of Twitter. I could not believe that they censored a sitting president. And it's gotten just wackier and crazier times 10,000 since then. So it's just more of the same from this regime. How long do we put up with it? We'll see. When America wakes up and they realize the sofa's on fire and they've been sleeping, maybe they'll get up and do something, man. Okay, and then I saw a show on Rumble, on Gateway Pundit's Rumble channel. There's a new show by a guy named Brian Lupo, and this guy is also known as Con. He's been around for several years that I know of, man. And he's doing a weekly J6 updates show. So I'm going to give you a couple of the highlights from his show. He does a really good interview with one J6er or sometimes two during his show. Every Wednesday night he puts out a new show. And this week he let us know that there was another J6 suicide. And this guy's name is David Hommel. He was a 55-year-old patriot. He was arrested in January of 2024 on 8 charges, a couple of felonies and a couple of misdemeanors. And he couldn't take the pressure, man. Couldn't take the pressure. He's just watched 1,300 other people try to get a fair trial in Democrat D.C. And it's atrocious, man. None of them got a fair trial. The judges are totally skewed. They won't let them admit evidence. And yet the prosecution can admit altered evidence. They add sound to it, just like the J6 Commission themselves did. Congress themselves did the same tactics that the courts, the prosecutors, and the judges are allowing in the D.C. trials that are going on, man. So rest in peace, David Howell. You are a patriot. And he joins Matthew Perna, George Meacham, Mark Ongst, and Chris Stanton. These are all suicides that happened from J6ers since January 6th happened. And the pressure just got to them, man. They couldn't take it. It's horrible. It's horrible. But we know, patriots, we stand on truth. We stand for the one true God, and we all meet again. So there's that. I mean, we just got to carry on, patriots. We can't lose heart over these patriots. Brian Lupo also does a segment right at the beginning of the show where he lets us know J6ers that have served their sentences that have been released. So this is a bright spot on the whole J6 thing. There have been 6 J6ers that were released last week. Kristen Niemela, Michael Eckerman, Brian Gunderson, Alexander Shepard, Peter Stager, and James Wyman have been released from jail. So freedom! You served your sentence. The sacrifice is over for those 6 J6ers. And we will carry on and continue to fight against this. One day, hopefully, there will be some type of a compensation for them for putting up with this unbelievable miscarriage of justice, man. Also, the DOJ has newly arrested 5 other J6ers, though. There were 5 other J6ers arrested last week that were previously free. Ronald Ballhorn, Michael Foy, Cliff Mackerel, Kyle Nyrick, and Arthur Rayer are all facing charges now in D.C. And I am assuming, well, I'm not assuming that they're in the gulag right now. Some of them might have been on home release, or they get the boot until their trial starts. So they may or may not be in the gulag right now. But 5 new J6ers charged. We are well over 1,300 J6ers charged to this day right now, among other people, you know, and Trump being the one of them. He's one of the charges that he's facing is for being the 1512 charge. So they're coming after the president himself, too. So on Brian Lupo's show on the Gateway Pundit this weekend, he interviewed Doug Jensen, who is one of the J6ers. His name has been on that list for a long, long time. And some of the interesting topics that came out of that interview was that when Doug Jensen went up to the Capitol, when he first got there, the cops were all friendly and stuff. They were fist pumping each other. He says he walked through the Capitol, they let him through, and then he almost left the building for once, and then he went back into the rotunda because the cops were all being cool with him. They were just chatting it up. Brian Jensen says he thought the cops were on our side when he was up there in the Capitol, right? When he first got up to the Capitol, though, he saw this odd scene that didn't strike him as odd until afterwards when he was, now that all this has happened to him, it makes a little more sense. But he went up there, and on the steps of the Capitol, there were 2 giant crates, like pallets. And one of them had bottles of water in it. And the cops were all like, hey, come on up, man, grab a bottle of water, stay hydrated. And they were seemingly friendly with the protesters, right? In the other crate, and I've been saying this all along, was body armor, batons, and helmets. And the cop said, sure, just grab one of them too. It might get rowdy. And David Jensen was like, what? I don't need body armor. You know, we're here peacefully protesting. Why would I need body armor? And why would a cop be saying, here, just take one? So this is it, man. These were movie props all over the place. Everybody that you've seen with one of them clear police shields, every J6er that you've seen one of them, that didn't come ripped out of the hands of a cop, man. Those things were laying around on the ground. There was pepper spray canisters just laying around for people to pick up. There was zip tie handcuffs laying around that people just picked up and went, oh, I might need that, or hey, I got a souvenir from J6. And entrapment, total entrapment, man. Jazzy 6, yeah, that's entrapment for sure. And we still don't have the Capitol security footage. We don't have the video. Where is it, man? I mean, we've been begging for this. People have been getting tried and convicted and found guilty without being allowed to look at the video evidence of what happened on the Capitol that day. And it's still not there. A couple of people supposedly have been allowed access to it. Again, they definitely made advantageous use of that video. Steve Baker being one of them. Tucker Carlson made that big video on Jake Chansley. Got his conviction shortened. All kinds of stuff, man. Why don't we have that video? This is a prime example of, I can see the chat, Ridgeline. I started a new video somehow, and now the chat's here, so, yeah. But yeah, we're still begging for this Capitol security footage, and obviously, if there wasn't anything worth hiding on there, they wouldn't be hiding it. That's why they're hiding it, because there is evidence on there of collusion, of entrapment, of undercover everybody. Undercover military, undercover Capitol Hill police, undercover FBI agents in there entrapping people to get into the Capitol, starting riots, inciting violence on people. There's tons of videos. There's at least 20 documentaries now out there about J6 that shows the truth. That has personal people's video on there that the government can't censor because it's their personal video that they shot on there. There's body camera footage that has been retrieved and gotten by people that shows the Capitol Hill police up there saying, we got set up. So they got set up too, man. The Capitol Police, but they don't got the balls to come forward and tell anybody they got set up because they're in the club, man. They're all protecting each other. And there's been a couple of cop suicides. There's been several police officers that were at J6 up there that have committed suicide. Now, why would they do that? I don't know. I don't understand. And did they do that? Or, we all know about Epstein's suicide. Was that a suicide or were they suicided? Okay. And all the cops that commit suicide now have civil suits against J6ers that they encountered on that day looking for financial repercussions. I definitely know that Julian Cotter, is being sued for like $1 million by the widow, not even the widow, just the girlfriend of one of these cops that killed himself because Julian Cotter apparently sprayed this guy with pepper spray on J6 and this guy killed himself a long time after that. And they're trying to civilly blame Julian Cotter for having a part in this guy's suicide. I ain't buying any of it, man. I don't want to see any suicides, period. Whether it's a cop or a J6er. It's a horrible, horrible place to be. But I want investigations into these things, man. I heard about the suicided cops from the New York Police Department when Hillary's laptop got found out, man. From that video called Frazzle Trip, man. I mean, you all think Hillary's this nice lady. She's a freaking demon, man. Yeah, they did off themselves, Lou. But did they? Okay? Or were they getting ready to come up and say stuff? Okay? There's been a couple of DC and Capitol Hill police officers that have, wanted to testify. Stephen Sun, chief of the Capitol Hill Police, wasn't even called into the J6 committee hearings. He's been wanting to speak out, and he finally did get to speak out on Barry Loudermilk's J6 investigation that's going on now, but it's hidden in the files of C-SPAN right now. It's not a prime time network production like the J6 committee was, but they're uncovering truth in there. And one of the other truths was that Trump was stripped of his commander-in-chief powers on January 6th by Mark Miley and Army Secretary Ryan McCarthy, man. They just said, we're not telling Trump anything anymore. He doesn't have the power. We are in control. Because they were assuming that Trump was going to take the National Guard and storm the Capitol with the National Guard. That's what they testified on, man. But that's all on tape right now. It's testified to Congress. They showed up for their subpoenas and testified to Congress about all this stuff. They were ignored by the original J6 Commission. But there you have it. It's out there now. But America sleeps on the sofa while the sofa's on fire. Continually. And there's video of the DC Metro Police up on the steps of the Capitol saying, we were set up. And there's video of a Capitol Hill cop firing a gas canister and clearing his own line of defense because he shot it into the wind and took 50, 60, 70 cops that were holding a line on the Capitol steps out of the way. They did it to themselves, man. It was a setup. There were people that were in on it, and there were just innocent people just doing their job, just going to a protest. There was violent people in the crowd, but I don't think they were Trump supporters. There was undercover everybody there, There's undercover with Ray Epps. There's a new Ray Epps phone call out that American Patriot News just put out a thing on it yesterday, where Ray Epps is talking about what he was doing there that day. I know, before January 6th even happened, I was watching live stream video of Ray Epps in the streets of D.C. saying, we're going to go into the Capitol. And I'm thinking, what is this nut talking about? And the whole crowd called him out, started going, Fed. Yet, there he is on J6, right at the front of like 3 different breaches. And how come he's not in jail, man? Yeah, they buried it deep, Tammy. You're right. It's not out there anymore. But if that is true, what's on that video, it is heinous. And that's all that stuff from Jeffrey Epstein's island and stuff. The FBI came in and raided that island. They were swarming all over that island. And we still don't even know who went to the island. All this secret information has got to be revealed, man. Where's the Epstein client list? How come they're not arrested? Are we voting for them? Are they running for office and we're voting for them? Are they my doctor? Are they my lawyer? Are the Epstein client list people I'm doing business with? We need to know that. We have a right to know who was going to that island because Epstein was convicted and so is Ghislaine Maxwell. Where's the Capitol Hill security videos? We need to know that. They're arresting people. That evidence is necessary for them to defend themselves. And I don't care who's in peril if that's released. The point is it ain't right that that's not available information. We, the people, own that building. We own the cameras. We own the people that watch the cameras. We own the machine that recorded the cameras. There's no reason why we, the people, can't have that video footage, man. Yet for 3.5 years, Republicans have sat on their hands in Congress and done nothing about it, man. Except lead us along some more. Why is that border still open? It's outrageous, Patriots. All right, so officially, the U.S. Border Patrol has facilitated for 9 million illegals to come into this country. What they're not telling you is the getaways, okay? These are the ones that were checked off on a clipboard and given a bus ride, a phone, and a hotel room somewhere, okay? 9 million. When Barry Soetoro was still in office, he was saying that there are known to be 9 million illegals in our country. So that's 9 million from Barack, and then there's 9 million that we know of. That's 18 million. And then we got Mike Johnson on the record saying that we think there's 16 million in this country just from Joe Biden's term. So that brings it to 25 million illegal aliens in this country. And they're going to be voting. They're going to be voting, which was something I had a hunch on this all along. Tucker Carlson did an interview with a gal who was looking up all the laws and stuff about that, and they are going to be allowed to vote. And if they do, there's no way to prosecute them. There's no law on the books that will bring charges against an illegal alien for voting in an American election. So that's why this has been happening all throughout Barack Obama's term. That's why Trump wanted to build a wall and shut it down. And that's why Joe Biden reversed every single Trump policy on the border and allowed the surge to happen and called out for the surge to happen, man. Don't become one of them. Accept the blood of Jesus Christ on your head to atone for your sins. Put on the body armor of God and stand. Don't be scared of this. This is God wins in the end. We know how the book ends, right? Hey, small water guy. 4,100 J6ers have been arrested. I thought it was 1,300. Or is that how many's been incarcerated so far? Yeah, it's an unbelievable number. And Congress has funded it to continue to operate too, man. No, this ladder, I'm a very neat painter, Smalley. This is like 30 years worth of paint on this ladder, man. So I'm actually a very neat painter, but every once in a while, one little splatter, but this is 30 years worth of splatters on that ladder, man. Really. So, and we are under the one true God. Okay, He's gonna do with us as He sees fit, and obviously He's not done with us yet. Okay, because we're still here. We would not be here without the power of God. It's a miracle we have all survived up until now to be here right now in this period of time. We got traitors and crooks and liars to the left of me, war pigs to the right, and here we are, stuck in the middle with FJB. God will persevere. We have the honor to be in the spots where God wants us to be when He needs us to be there. So we just continue to walk in that faith. That's a walk of faith every day. You wake up every day glad that you survived the night, and realize that you're going to have battles all day long, and God is going to get you through those battles if you look to Him. And every night when you lay your head on that pillow, that's another victory where you survived the day, and you're going to have a nice night's rest, because God gives you the nice rest that you need to restore your body for the battles for tomorrow. Every day is training for tomorrow. So everything that happens to you today, once you live through it, once you figure out all the solutions to navigate through all the problems, all the temptations, all the danger that's around you every day, that just gives you more and more information and training on how to avoid it tomorrow and get off on their battle that you're going to endure tomorrow. Okay, there was some other information too about that came out this week about the elections. Okay, the Arizona audit of 2020 election confirms that 25,000 counterfeit ballots were inserted by Katie Hobbs and Adrian Fontes in the Arizona election. And then there's also information out there right now that in Pennsylvania, the state sent out 1.8 million ballots, but took in 2.5, almost 2.6 million ballots. So I don't know why 3.5 years later, we're still debating what happened on the 2020 election, man. Pennsylvania had an attorney general that was supposed to be the guy that would prosecute election fraud and prosecute criminals, you know? And you know what that guy's name is? Shapiro. You know who Shapiro is now? He's the governor of Pennsylvania. He just won in the 2022 election. So they reward those that cover for the wickedness and don't prosecute it, and they give them promotions, man. Just like Michael Byrd, the guy that got on a police report on a police radio in the Capitol on January 6th and said, shots fired, before there was any shots fired, okay? And then he shot an innocent woman down in cold blood, man. An unarmed innocent woman in a prone position, no danger whatsoever to himself, and he shot her down. When are we going to see justice for that, man? Okay, Tammy, 1,400 arrests. All right. Whew, man, I've been following this a long time. I'm like, could I be that far off, man? All right, Tammy. So, yeah, 1,400 arrests so far. And 2,000 more on the books, ready to go as soon as they can accommodate it. The courthouse is swamped in D.C. So, in the meantime, there's no oaths for these judges on record. Geitzen got to the bottom of all that. He investigated the oaths of all these judges that are in the D.C. court there. And even the lead prosecutor doesn't have an oath on record, a signed, valid oath on record. So these people aren't even oath breakers. They just never took the oath in the first place. Who are they working for? On all the paperwork, the entity that they're working for is called the United States. Well, the last I understood, this was the United States of America. So who's this United States that's bringing charges? Only in D.C. and has standing armies that will go into any part of this country and kidnap people and bring them to D.C. to stand trial. It's some entity called United States, not the United States. So there we go. And that's what we're here to do. That's what we're here to do. All right, I think I'm getting towards the end of this one. So we are in the middle of a world peace movement, Patriots. MAGA, Netherlands. It's happened in Brazil, in Argentina. It's going to start happening back on these times. Just honored to know that we were the early ones to stand in this whole battle, because it's important. It is. All right, we're having some transmission. All right, we're back there. So I just want to read this verse again. I read it in the first part, but it's perfectly fits into what we're doing right now. We are exposing the wickedness. We are light in this world. All right, we're getting unstable transmission again. This is Ephesians 5:8. For you were once darkness, but now you are light in Yahuwah. Live as children of light, for the fruit of the light consists in all goodness, righteousness, and truth. And find out what pleases Yahuwah. Have nothing to do with the fruitless deeds of darkness, but rather expose them. For it is shameful even to mention what the disobedient do in secret. But everything exposed by the light becomes visible. For it is light that makes everything visible. So it's because of us that makes all this wickedness known, because otherwise it would have been hidden before this. All right, so that's all I got today, Patriots. We got some stuff going on this weekend. All right, I changed my P.O. Box number. Let me go over that again. My new P.O. Box number is 5211. And that is in the channel description here. We got a crazy thing happening in my local area this week. Oh, come on, man. This unstable transmission shit. Hey, Sherry, what's up? So the chat's kind of working, but it's jumping. It'll freeze up for a while and then just go like crazy. So I don't know what part of the chat I'm reading right now. Okay, Cindy, hello. Annette Park, hello. All right, we're gonna wrap it up here. This weekend, where I live, they're shutting down the main highway through town, all right? 100,000 cars go on this highway every day. And they're going to shut down both lanes of the Route 30 going through Lancaster so that they can tear a bridge out, okay? So that's going to require that all 100,000 cars are going to have to do a detour around this section of highway. So they're going to be coming into the areas where I live. And there's going to be major traffic jams. So what I'm going to be doing this weekend, tomorrow and Sunday, is I'm going to have an FJB rally. I'm going to get out there with a flag and a live stream, and these people are going to be stalled at stoplights, and I'm going to just see what I can get going on, supporting Trump, supporting this country, and just saying FJB. Who's tired of FJB? And I want to just see where it goes with that. That's the basic framework of what I got planned for tomorrow, and we're just going to see where that goes. So if you want to check that out, and that's inspired by MAGA warriors, man, all right? So you guys have inspired me now to get out and do something, because I've seen all these like triggered Democrat videos you put out, and I think this is just the perfect opportunity to get some of that kind of footage. They're going to be sitting at a stoplight. They were going to have nowhere to go. They're not going to know where to go because they're not from here. They're just trying to get through the detour. And they're going to be stuck right next to me with a live stream and just ripping on them with everything that I know about everything about what's going on in this government. So I'm up for the challenge. Touche. I hope I don't get in trouble. And, you know, I'll go right up to the edge, but I don't want to get arrested or anything. So we'll see about that, man. Okay, Tammy, good. You got the new P.O. Box number in there. That's great. I had to change the P.O. Box number because of trolls. Whatever. They got nothing better to do. This is my maneuver to, now they got to like sign me up for all these other magazines that they've been just filling my mailbox up with. Crazy, just dumb idiocy that you got to deal with in order to have a YouTube channel sometimes. But it's worth it, man. Yeah, that's what we're going to do, Jazzy J6. We'll just see where... yeah, and spread the word of Christ, too. Let them know they're sinners. Let them know they can't save themselves. And we'll just see where that goes, man. So that's all we got today, Patriots. Thanks for hanging out with me. I hope you liked the memes earlier. And let's pray for Freedom Corner tonight, that they got some kind of, that YouTube just lays off for a while, man. Yeah, Sapphire Patriot, you made it through the night without getting canceled. So hopefully you guys are staying in, and it is worth fighting.